Oops, my audio was not on there. Hi everybody, thank you for joining. If you're not joining or watching it later, that's cool too. Today is going to be a good day. It's a Thursday, and I'm having a busy day. Hopefully we can go into some live coding and do some fun stuff. Let me put some music on while we're waiting. Let's see if it's gonna actually work. I wanted to do a little explanation on dependency injection and the whole inversion of control stuff. Res Coder joining us on Instagram. Thank you for joining. Somebody who knows everything about dependency injection. Maybe Res Coder has something to share. Hi, how are you? We are going live talking about our wins and struggles, because that's what we do at the stand-up. Are you ready for the summer? I am. I'm so ready. What are you doing these days? Anything fun? Hi Bashim, how are you? Thank you for joining. I'm doing some check-ins on Instagram just to see if we have any questions. I'm doing great, thank you. I am streaming live on Twitch and YouTube as well, because I want to make sure these get saved up. And we're going to do some live coding over there. And I want to make sure it all gets saved in the bank so I can point my students there, whoever wants to learn from me. Yeah, it's a good morning. It's 12 o'clock over here in Chicagoland. Beautiful June 3rd time. Okay, let's see if I can go back and see if we're good, if we're live. Make sure I don't have any glitches, because I either don't turn my audio on or I do something goofy. Hold on, let me turn this. There we go. See, right away I do something goofy. Okay. All right. So today we're going to talk about dependency injection and how it's used in Angular, and why it's used in Angular, and why we need to care about it, and what it's all about, and how I understood it when I used it in C#, because I'm coming from the C# world into Angular, so it was a little bit easier for me to understand. But if you don't have experience and you're coming into Angular, it's kind of confusing, like, why is it doing that? Why do I need to care? Because one of the first things Angular talks about when we create services, it's like, Angular is really good with dependency injection. You just have to do this, this, and this. But why they're actually doing it, and what is it all about? It's not really clear. So we're gonna do that. So hopefully we can switch over to Twitch and do it there, just because the screen is a little better there. So you guys going to jump over there and join me, because as of today, I am, as you know, I've been working on this new feature at work, and it's been really challenging because it's coming, the feature itself is not a brand new feature in our product. It is actually a component that's been written in Angular 8, but it's been a very big challenge for me to move it over to Angular 10, because it has the styles all in one SAS file, and yeah, I do backend in C#. Yep. And all of the styles are not encapsulated just because we were using, instead of Angular CLI, we were using Webpack, and it didn't do style encapsulations. So style encapsulation in Angular is basically a feature of Angular where you put your styles within your component, and they are scoped to that component, and they don't leak out into the rest of the application. That's kind of how I understand it. So in order to see this, the encapsulation piece has to work, and the Angular CLI from the from the default setup, it works. It does it for you. But because our Webpack configuration was not set up this way, we actually had to put all of the styles into like this separate thing, and the developer who created this feature did the best she could, and she put it all into this one big file. So when I moved that component over into our new Angular 10, because we're not actually upgrading the application, we like creating new features, and we put them into these new new microsites architecture style of websites. It actually blew up in my face because there are a couple of different components as part of this feature, but all of the styles are encapsulated now within this main component, and that's a big problem because all of the children component don't have any styles. So I kind of have to dig through the styles and figure out which style goes where. So it's not really too much Angular stuff, but it's a lot of it's kind of a struggle with CSS, and it's an interesting. It's going to be an interesting win for me when I'm done with it. But today we are going to talk about dependency injection, inversion of control, and we are going to have some illustration. So let's wrap up here on Instagram. Thank you for joining. Hop over into my live stream on Twitch or YouTube, whatever you prefer. I'm probably not gonna see all of the comments if you go to YouTube because I'm just not tracking that. I am looking at Twitch chat. So go over there. Thank you for joining today. Hopefully next time you can come in here and join your wins and struggles, okay? And I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Okay, so guys, stay with me. I need to share this right away because like if I don't do this right now, I don't know how to do this, and it's gonna get lost. So I don't want to lose my live on Instagram. So hold on, and I'll update it later. Okay, cool. All right, so my Instagram is over. Okay, so Pretzel Rock is here. Pretzel Rocks is a chatbot. I think that's what I've been told. But anyways, that's good to have a chatbot here because otherwise I'll be really lonely here. All right, so let's see here. What I wanted to do is I wanted to do a little illustration. So let me do this. Let me open Chrome tab. Display, capture. Okay, let me make this. Okay, make this smaller. And I'm going to do this. And I'm gonna get a new window for us. And we are going to talk about dependency injection in Angular, and then we'll switch over to code. And then we're gonna do something fun there. Okay, everything looking good. I was going to use this app called Creately. Let's see if this works. Just to do a little demonstration first, and then we'll go code. We'll do code. Alright, sign in. Now, is it gonna work for me? Ooh, okay. Lots of different emails. Probably don't wanna advertise them, but that's okay. Nobody's watching my live anyway, so but this is fun. Okay. So with Angular, we get a dependency injection out of the box. But if you come from C#, before .NET Core, we used to set it up manually, which was really fun. Okay, so let me draw some pictures. Let me see if I can do this. Close. Dashboard. I need a dashboard. Flowchart. Okay, let's do flowchart. Okay, I just need some shapes. Okay. Okay. Wait. Okay, so we are going to talk about dependency injection. So dependency injection and inversion of control. So just a quick, so I'm not going to teach what inversion of control and dependency injection is, because you guys can do this on your own in your spare time, because it's a kind of a complex subject. But I just want to show you for you to visualize why you need to know this in Angular. So imagine you have, let's see, so this is, let's see if we can rename this. So this is Angular. Let's just imagine this is Angular framework. Okay, you're using, okay, they call it platform now. Platform. 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 Okay, so where did it go? What happened? Where's my box? Where did it go? What is going on? I haven't used this, guys, so it's okay. Can we just stop deleting things for me? Okay, how about a rounded also gets removed? Oh well, so that's not gonna work, because it keeps disappearing on me. Let's refresh. Can I just draw a triangle or a rectangle? Should be able to. Okay, we'll start with the one that they give you. Alright, so let's call this, so let's imagine this is Angular. Let me blow this up. Okay, so this is Angular. Let's get rid of this for now. Let's move this guy over. Can we move this guy over here? Come on, just disappear. Okay. Alright, so this is Angular. So Angular, and then you come in and you create a service. Okay, so you created a service, and right now automatically Angular within its own implementation has, let's see if we can do this. Has a container. called a container, dependency injection container. Inversion of control container, that's what it's called. Inversion of control container. And this is just an implementation of how the dependency injection works. So the reason you need this container is so when you're running a component, let's say this is our component, and in this component, in your constructor, you have our new our service it's injected in here. So when you want to reach for the service within your component, Angular, what Angular does, and we don't have many errors here, so let's see if we can do like a connection line. Okay, we'll do connection. So Angular, can we connect it to this guy? Okay. So this is all implementation, right? In Angular, there's an implementation of inversion of control container. And when you create the service within Angular, it registers it in this container. So this service, when you can actually do, let's open up our VS Code. Just want to do step by step here so we don't get lost. Okay. Bear with me, I'm moving it, I promise. Okay. Okay, here we go. Just open big so we can see it. Okay. All right. So let's create a service just so we know what I'm talking about. I don't want to confuse anyone. Okay, sorry. We want to be inside our VS Code. All right, so let's imagine we creating a service. So we do ng generate service, and let's call it data. We just call it data service. So I just want to demonstrate the defaults of the data service. So here's our data service, and right into here, you see this markup onto our class, and it has this injectable on it, and it says provided en route. So this is a default dependency injection rule that you're telling Angular that please provide this service to anyone who is going to reference it in their constructor or wherever. The constructor injection is like the simplest one and the most common. So at this point, let's go back to our, let's see if we can go back to our little drawing board. Okay. All right. So at this point, once we created a service, there is a link created inside of this container, okay, for the service. So when the component is loaded, Angular, it says, hey, I need the service, right? So it goes to the Angular, thinks, it goes with this name of the service, it goes to this container and gives you the reference to the service. So with provided en route, it just gives one instance of the service throughout the application lifecycle. So this is a simplified version of explanation of dependency injection in Angular. This is like the simplest one that you can get. And the reason I wanted to do that is because we create the service, we know to inject it into the constructor, but we don't know what's going on. Like, why do we do this here? Why can't we just do so let's go back to our VS Code. So let's go to a component. So right now we have let's create a new component. Let's create ng generate. Let's create a component called, just call it a test component, because we just want to test our dependency injection demonstration. So inside our test component, what we would normally do is we would go into the constructor and go private read-only service, and we call data and of type data service, and the colon means of type. Okay, why can't we just go into our constructor and do and create a variable, go let service equals new data service? Why can't we just do this? Why do we need to do this? Like, why do we need to use dependency injection in using this data service? Why can't we just create this variable and do whatever we need to do with this with the service and get data this way? Because usually we create a component and we go to the service to get some kind of data, and that would be a way to getting to the truth of inversion of control. You are creating inversion of control by using Angular container over here. And the reason you want to do that is because you don't want to create hard dependency on a data service. Because as soon as you go into testing of this component, and we're not going to cover any of the testing right now, but as soon as you go to testing, if you do this, you are creating a hard dependency on this data service, where if you go the route that Angular tells you to do, is you are going to be able to provide a different way of, so let's go to our illustration really quick. Okay, I want to go here, I want to go here. So now you want to test your component. What you can do now is you can create a different container, and this could be your test inversion of control container. And now you can register a different service. Let's just call it, because in your service you're usually creating a real API call, and for your test you're not going to want to do that. You can create, they call them mock services, but let's just call it test service. And inside the test service, you are not going to go to the actual endpoint API. You are going to like hard code some data for your testing. And this is where this is useful. So now you got there is a way to register this test service with your with this test container, and when you're creating tests for your components, it's going to reach into this container instead and give you the reference to this test service. So this is very important. This is the reason why you want to use Angular dependency injection versus creating hard dependency inside your controllers. I hope this makes sense, because it took a long time. So the recommendation for this video is to go and read everything about solid programming principles. Not about solids, that it gives me. Okay, so first five principles of object-oriented design. So find something that is going to be clear to you. There is many articles, many books on this, but we just covered this last point over here of dependency inversion principle, and that's what dependency injection and inversion of control is based on. It's based on this principle from the solid programming principles. And we're starting with this one just because we went into an explanation on adding HTTP client yesterday, but we didn't really go into why we needed to import that HTTP module. So if you remember, inside of our app module, we had to import this HTTP client module. So you are registering all of the services inside this client module that are going to be placed into that container for Angular to be able to provide that service inside of the component. So wherever it's used. In our case, it was app component. So this, in our GitHub service, we are injecting this, where's our constructor? So we're injecting this HTTP client, and it would not know what HTTP client is unless we imported that module. And actually, if we comment this out, and let's try to do ng build, let's see if it's actually going to give us runtime errors. Or build time errors. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen. Let's see how we're doing on time. Okay, good, we're doing really good on time. I don't want to take too much of anyone's time. This is a 30-minute block where I talk about something that I think is important of learning. And the reason I'm doing this is because my lovely niece is learning how to do Angular, and she's learning it, and she is practicing it, and if I can teach her something via this video, that would be awesome. If somebody else can find this useful, it will be a double bonus for me. So check this out. So it built, everything went fine with our ng serve. We just did ng serve. Let's do really quick ng build, which will do a production build just to see if it's going to work, because I want to show you what happens and if you don't register HTTP client with HTTP client module, when you don't give the direction to Angular dependency injection container of where to get that service. This is what the demonstration of what not to do. And the reason I'm doing this is because when you know the source of the errors, it's actually going to help you to debug other issues, because you're always going to have things that are like, oh, why am I getting this not found thing? Like, what is going on? So this is why I'm showing you this, okay? Alright, it's still building, so waiting. This is so with Angular 12, just a heads up, when you do ng build, it by default, it builds in production mode. So before Angular 12, you had to do ng build -- prod. So we're doing, okay, so we have an error on the budgets, which we know about from the last videos. Okay, so we can do ng serve, and we actually know now that when we don't give direction to a dependency injection container of Angular, it doesn't give you the compilation error, it's going to give you the runtime error. And the runtime error is something that you get while you're running your application. And that's hypothetical, I haven't tried it yet, so let's see. Let's see if I'm right. Waiting. Oh man. I'm really liking the background that I see in my window. It's so beautiful. That tree is just awesome. Okay, so let's see, this worked. So when we do click on it, let's see, can we do command click so it opens up? Okay, beautiful. All right, something's happening. It loaded, but there's nothing on our screen. I know we're supposed to get a couple of buttons on here. All right, we got 2 console errors. Let's get rid of our mobile look. Let's go here and look at this. So this is the expected error, right? So it's saying that no provider for HTTP client. So whenever we register a module, the HTTP client module, it actually tells Angular that that it's provide that service, have a reference to that service within your dependency injection tree or whatever. So this is the error. So we know how to fix this now. So now anytime we get this no provider for HTTP client, most likely, or let's say it's not HTTP client, some other service, most likely that service is wrapped up into a module and we didn't import that module. And that's very important. So we're gonna uncomment this, have our thing rebuilt. That's done. Hey Jacker, how are you? I'm almost done. Like I have a few more minutes of showing this and we're gonna be wrapping up. We were talking about dependency injection in Angular. All right, so here we go. No errors. Our beautiful buttons are up. And this is still left over from yesterday's demonstration. So this is it, guys. So, okay, sorry for the flickering here. I wanted to go back to our little picture and just finish up there because this is where we started. We started with our little inversion of control containers, the implementation of Angular of dependency injection. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you can join me next time on my live. I'm on Instagram first. I usually say hi to all my Instagram followers, and then we jump over to Twitch or YouTube, whichever one you prefer, and then we just cover something fun I think is worth your time. At least I think my beautiful niece is gonna be learning something from me this time. Okay, so Lumjack, that sounds so complicated. That's all right. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, if you are new to Angular, this is definitely going to be, or into any programming, it's definitely going to be a little bit complicated. But don't think that you're not smart enough. Seriously, this is not. It just takes some time to practice, and go into solid principles video for find some solid principles in programming video and dig into that, and then come back and ask me some questions. But if you're new to Angular or if you want to learn Angular, hit me up. I will give you some links for really cool tutorials. I didn't do them, but I think there's good enough tutorials on Angular that anybody could follow and start out with that and then go into more complicated topics. So today we are going to be done unless we have any other questions. I think this was really fun. I really enjoyed talking about this because I know this is difficult stuff to grasp right away, and you don't know. Sometimes you're doing something with Angular and you're like, oh, why is it like this? Why is it not some other way? And Angular platform gives you a lot of best practices, and if you follow them correctly, you are going to be successful. If you don't follow them correctly, you're just going to encounter a lot of different issues. It's going to be just harder to maintain. It's going to be harder to test. So just follow the best practices of Angular. So this is it for today. This was a lovely live. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can join me tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I am going to do one more this week, and then I take a break until Monday. Actually, Monday is my birthday, So on Monday, I have a day off at work, but I am doing a podcast with Angular XP Show. Oh, thank you for joining, Lumjacker. It's really nice to have at least one person on my live. I'm so excited. And so Monday is my birthday. After I do the podcast, I'm probably gonna go and enjoy my day and just have a lovely. Yeah, thank you so much for the birthday wishes, and just enjoy my Monday birthday. Okay. All right. So if you go to katesky.club, all my links are in that link tree. Join my Instagram, follow me on Twitter, and come back to Twitch and YouTube next time I'm here. I'm usually here 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. Okay? And thank you so much, and have a lovely the rest of the day. I love you. Bye.